Hello, welcome to my channel. Today on Tuesday, I usually do a tag for Tag Tuesday. And I've been thinking about turning a video into a tag that Virgil at Literally Books did on his videos called 6 Books I Wish Had Sequels. And I was going to turn that into a tag. Link to the video I'm talking about, Virgil's below. Virgil's never been on the show Monday. We have to get him on the show. I asked him once last year. He was busy, but I'm going to ask him again, get him on the show. Great channel. So, got me thinking. And then I'm thinking like Ulysses. You know, you remember how that ends with it. It's all kind of tied up when it's called the Penelope episode with Molly Bloom's soliloquy. Ties it up. So what loose ends do we have in, will Bloom and Molly ever have, they haven't had natural sex in 11 years. Now, what does that mean to you? It means several things. They've had unnatural. What does that mean? So, won't go there. So, will that happen? Will Molly continue with her affair with Blazes Bolin, and will Bloom continue to be a cuck about it? Where does Stephen sleep? Does it go back around to Telemachus, the first episode where he doesn't go back to the tower? He doesn't have any money for the hotel. Or does he have a little scratch left? But, or is it a perfect ending? For example, like, War and Peace. We're going to be reading this next year sometime if you want to join us in a group read. It'll be the third time I've read it, and I think it will be enough because I love this book. It's a big soap opera. But by the time we get to the end and the lives of Pierre and Natasha, it's a big soap opera, and did they nail the coffin shut with this? Yeah, pretty much. Rufus, well, then I come to, how about Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? What happens to Jim. Now, Percival Everett did a retelling of this called James, my favorite book of 2024, but it's not a sequel. And then the final thing about, this vein of, did they nail the coffin shut, the ending of The Sound and the Fury? I was talking to Greg last night on the show and brought out collected stories. I just bought this on Audible too. And I've read the major stories, and now I bring this up in context with Sound and the Fury. The short story, That Evening Sun, one of my favorites, brings back the Compsons, the family, the kids, and so I like that. And Greg has a Discord with the 6, his favorite stories. Faulkner and I don't know the older ones. I think there's some Snopes stories in there that I have not read. So I'm going to be doing that. But to get back, I do have some books that I want sequels to. All right, the first book, I've talked about this book, Homeboy by Seth Morgan. A book that I like because the writing is off the page, as we used to say. It's that type of book that I would like to have written. I mean, I'm really impressed by the style and the idea and the vernacular of it. It's kind of invented language. A Literary Descent of William Burroughs and Henry Miller. Morgan writes with the authority of a Joycean Hell's Angel. New York Times book review when it came out. I'd like to see, he wraps up the story really well in the end. And it's like a love story, and they get back together, and they're going to have a baby. Just prime for a sequel. Another book that I was thinking it would make a good sequel to The Passion of G.H. by Clarice Lispector. Writer I like and have read a lot of. I'm going to ask Roz to do this little piece because she's my Lispector buddy reading partner. But I'll spoil the book if you don't know. It's a book about a highfalutin sculptor woman who discovers a cockroach in her suite, and not only discovers it, but kills it. And not only kills it, but touches it. Not only touches it, but yeah, and it changes her for the better, I presume, but we don't know because there's not a sequel. Now, here's one for you. I'm going to tag Greg or ask him to respond. A Confederacy of Dunces by John, I always forget his name, John Kennedy Toole. I always confuse it with Peter O'Toole, and it's not O'Toole, it's just Toole, huh? John Kennedy Toole died, didn't see his success, and died of a suicide in New Orleans. Seth Morgan died of a motorcycle crash, drunken crash in New Orleans too. Anyway, what happens at the end? His girlfriend, platonic girlfriend, wannabe, his nemesis, his mod gun, is Mina in New York City, and they finally get together. And what ensues? I'd like to find out. Here's one. A book, it's called Shadowram. I love this book, and it already has a sequel too. It's called The Mountain Shadow. Now, I've read this book twice, at least, maybe 3 times. I've given it away to people. Our buddy read this with Greg last year, 2 years ago. He hated it, he DNF'd it, and it saddened me so much that I just threw in the towel too. I didn't even finish the buddy read. So I'm going to reread it this year because Daniela at Uncommon Reader enjoyed this. Steve Donahue read and enjoyed this. Steve Donahue liked this too. Yeah, I was surprised. But a lot of people, not a lot, but I know a handful of people that didn't. Most of the people I've turned on to this book and really enjoy it. If you want to buddy read Shadowram with me, it has the writing's off the page on this too. It has everything I love in a novel: adventure, sex, drugs, rock and roll. There's like a mafia syndicate in the forgeries of passports and IDs in Bombay, India. Travels through India, spirituality, a love story. It's a great book. Let me know if you want to join me. I'm trying to wrap this up. I have a joke, and the joke is here's a book that I want a sequel to, and it could happen. Let's make it happen. Come on, Michelle and, I don't even pick somebody. Oprah. Michelle and Oprah in 2028. If you want to respond to me, I'd appreciate it. Make a VR, a video response, and let's get this going. Thanks for the idea, Virgil, and I'm going to send you an email tonight. We're booked up till June on the show. Let's get you on the summer, Virgil. Thanks again. All right, and thanks for watching. Take care.